While Republicans go through the costly and painful process of choosing a candidate for president, Democrats can sit back and watch and cringe and sometimes chuckle. But is the Democratic ticket really set? A number of influential voices have made the case for a job swap of sorts. Not President Obama and Vice President Biden, but Vice President Biden and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. An Obama-Clinton ticket is exactly what a lot of voters expected after their hard-fought battle in 2008. And my next guest thinks it makes even more sense today. Robert Reich was Labor Secretary under President Clinton. He's now a professor of public policy at the University of California, Berkeley, and a very busy author, very busy blogger. Professor, nice to have you on the program. You say Mrs. Clinton would fire up the Democratic base. How so?
Well, I think she was. She's a proven campaigner. She is obviously sharp and intelligent. She has a huge following. The most recent Gallup poll showed that she and the president are the most respected woman and man in America, and this is for several years running right now. On top of that, she's done, I think, an exceptionally good job in foreign policy. Foreign policy is an area where the Obama administration has shined, and even though the economy is likely to be a little bit lackluster by Election Day, having Hillary Clinton on the ticket would enable the president to put forward his foreign policy successes a little bit more easily.
I know you make several points. Well, you make several points about this. I just want to go through one at a time here because each of them really is worth a discussion. You also suggest, as you just sort of started to talk about here, that it would divert voters' attention. Putting Hillary Clinton on the ticket would divert voters' attention from the struggling economy back to the global stage. And you think, obviously, that would be good for Democrats.
I do think it would be good for Democrats. Again, the foreign policy successes of the administration in terms of Al Qaeda, getting rid of the head of Al Qaeda, Libya, getting rid of Muammar Gaddafi, basically dealing with the Arab Spring in a very sophisticated way, and onward around the world. I mean, the world's problems are still with us, obviously, but the administration has done an exceedingly good job. Even Republicans admit that. Hillary Clinton would enable the administration to put that forward. The economy is probably not going to be all that good on Election Day.
And what about 2016? I mean, this could possibly set her up, right?
Yes, the Republicans have experienced in recent years, or at least in living memory, 12 years. I mean, they had Ronald Reagan and the first George Bush. But Democrats have not had 12 years running since FDR and Harry Truman. And when you have 12 years, you really can put your mark on the government. You certainly can have a very formative effect on the Supreme Court. And I think Hillary Clinton has a better shot at becoming president in 2016 than Joe Biden. And I don't mean, by the way, I don't mean in any way to denigrate Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden has done a very good job as vice president. But swapping places with Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden becoming the next Secretary of State would not be bad. He's always been very interested in foreign policy.
Let me ask you, though, I mean, really, this is a lot of fun to talk about, and you definitely make some good points, but you also have said you don't have any inside information that this really could be a reality. I mean, this is just something that's interesting to discuss at this point, right? There is no talk or no reporting within the administration.
I don't have any inside information, and you have to be always very cautious because political predictions, economic forecasts, and astrology all bear something in common, except astrology is sometimes correct. So you've got to be a little bit careful about all this. But I think, look, even at this early stage, it just simply makes a lot of sense. And a lot of Democrats are coming to the same conclusion.
How would this work, though? I mean, how would you, if this was even a possibility, how would you slide Biden out and slide Hillary Clinton in?
Well, very easily. I mean, becoming Secretary of State is not a bad thing for a vice president. I mean, I think that if the president were to go to Biden, or maybe Biden were to go to the president and say, look, Secretary of State is the next obvious place for Joe Biden. Being vice president, he's done a very good job, but he doesn't add the kind of luster to the ticket that Hillary Clinton is likely to add, and that Democrats do need a little bit of luster. I mean, and some excitement. There is a bit of an enthusiasm gap shall we say. A lot of Democrats, although they obviously are going to vote again for the president, they're not going to vote with quite the enthusiasm they had before. Democrats or Republicans never vote twice for the same incumbent, that is, with the same degree of enthusiasm. And also, some people are concerned that the president has caved in too much to these recalcitrant Republicans. So having Hillary Clinton there, I think, would give a big boost to the Democratic base and also attract the votes of many, many independents.
All right, so that could be the Democratic ticket.